this Oval Office meeting, one like we've never seen before. We've been saying reaction from all sides, impacts of all kinds. What about financial impact? Is there, for example, a stock market impact? I'm happy to welcome to the show now an old friend here, Tracy Byrnes, who's a former colleague. He's now a very fancy financial advisor for UBS. Hey, Trace, how are you? Looking great. Haven't seen you in years. Yeah, right. Well, if this is your day, you got to get out more, as they say. This whole thing. So, all right. So, what would you say about something like this happened? It was crazy. Back and forth, you got two world leaders. I'm like, what is going on here? The market looked like it sold off a little, and then next thing you know, the people said, okay, took a breath, and it went back up. Did things like this have an impact financially, you think?
Yeah, so I think this is the story of the first 2 months of the year, Connell. I mean, he drops a bomb, his administration, all of them, and everyone's like, what? And then we settle in and we're like, all right, it's going to be okay. And I think we're going to start to see more and more and more of that until we figure out how exactly is he cutting taxes? How exactly are these tariffs going to impact the economy, right? And what exactly is going to come out of today's meeting? Nobody knows, so you have to...
Yeah, I would say that Trump's biggest problem politically might very well be, and we don't know this yet, but it might be an economic challenge. It might not be any of this. Like, for example, there was a poll out on inflation, right? And it basically showed that people's income is not matching up with inflation. And when you ask people, they say, well, no, I'm not making enough compared to inflation. So that's going to be the issue that really gets at Trump politically, potentially, right, if it continues.
100%. And the bigger problem is you have super wealthy people, even like our parents and up, they have all done really well with this recent stock market. So they have the money. So if they walk into a restaurant and some crazy place is charging $125 for a steak, they're going to sit down and eat it because they can. And as a result, that makes getting inflation down even harder because you have people that are willing to pay these ridiculous prices. So you have tariffs that are coming through. Are those costs going to be passed on to people? Maybe, probably. And there will be people who pay them. And that's where the average American, the people that are living paycheck to paycheck, are really going to suffer the most.
What do you think about those tariffs in terms of the impact of them? You're right. That's another thing we get lost with everything happening. That's next week's story. 10% additional on China, the Mexico, the Canada tariffs. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an initial impact on people, and people are going to be like, wait, I don't know. Then they exhale, and they're like, all right, it's not going to be so bad. It really depends on how these companies are going to get hit internally. I mean, right now, inventories are great. Balance sheets are great. We saw great earnings. All that's really, really great. These companies start to get hit hard. They probably will pass these costs on, and you will have somebody out there willing to pay, and that's, again, what hurts the little guy.
It's always great. It is great to see. I don't know why it took us so long to invite you on the show, Tracy. I apologize for that. Last time I saw you, by the way, you were teaching a college class, and you invited me to be your guest speaker, so I assume all those students dropped out of college afterwards?
Working at the drive-thru. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, for whatever. Thanks. Thank you, Tracy. We'll have you back more often. Tracy Byrnes, closing bell time. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.